Hi guys, I'm Nicola McKenzie and today's video we're going to be talking about the new mortgage charter. So some of the UK's largest mortgage lenders and the Financial Conduct Authority have come together over the last couple of weeks to agree a new set of standards to help borrowers that might be concerned about increases to interest rates. So to find out more about how the mortgage charter works, then stay tuned. Now, before we get into the detail of today's video, guys, when the time comes for you to consider a remortgage or mortgage options, then make sure that you head over to our website, which is dm.mortgage, and there you can book in for a mortgage appointment where we can help you to look at your options. Because here at DM Mortgages, we don't monetize this channel. So in return, to show your support, then head over to the website and we'll look forward to helping you with your mortgage options. Now, guys, it's no secret to anyone at the moment that, of course, over the last few weeks or couple of months now, interest rates have been increasing. So as a result of those increases, a few weeks ago, Jeremy Hunt met with a number of UK lenders, some of the largest lenders in the market that represent actually over 75% of the mortgage market. And what they agreed between them was to set a new, some new standards to help borrowers in the event that they might be concerned about interest rate increases. So some of those rules and changes will obviously help those that are concerned. One of the main factors that are included is that lenders are being much more forgiving and encouraging to inviting borrowers to speak to them if they're struggling with their payments and not letting this affect their credit rating. Now, the one thing that I would say to anyone that's struggling to keep up with their repayments is the last thing you want to do is bury your head in the sand, because if you do that, then lenders are much less forgiving with you. So if you are in a situation where you're struggling to keep up with your repayments, it is important that you do speak to a broker, contact us and your lender, or at least your lender at the very, very least. Because the earlier you can contact your lender, then again, the more forgiving that they're going to be, and the more likely it is that you'll be able to come to a resolution that may not even affect your credit score. So some of these changes in relation to the new mortgage charter include what lenders are now doing is allowing, and this isn't all lenders as well, there's 32 lenders that have agreed to be a part of this mortgage charter. And what they've agreed is that they will allow borrowers to switch to an interest-only mortgage or extend their mortgage term. But that's only temporarily. So you can do that, but within 6 months, you have to revert back to the original terms and conditions of your mortgage, okay? But one of the benefits of this new change or new rule is that you can do this without it affecting your credit score and also without any affordability checks. So it's a really big change, and I do think that it is a welcome change to again help people that might be struggling on a higher payment given that interest rates have increased. Now, a really positive introduction as part of this new mortgage charter as well is that starting from the 10th of July, customers that are approaching the end of their deal, their mortgage product, can now secure a new product up to 6 months in advance. So that's an important one, because actually some lenders were already at 6 months in advance, but only a very few small select handful of them. Usually, typically, lenders would allow you to secure a new deal 3 months in advance. But now that the 32 lenders have agreed that you can secure a deal up to 6 months in advance, of course, that's going to help you to secure a deal nice and early. However, one thing that I really want to point out here is that please, I would strongly advise against just directly going back to your existing lender before you check the rest of the market. So what I would suggest and advise anyone to do that is approaching the end of their deal, 6 months before that deal ends is the right time to review your options. But what I would do is consider contacting us at that point, because before we secure a deal with your current lender, it's always worth checking the rest of the market, because you might get a better deal elsewhere. Now, again, if you do switch to a better deal elsewhere, then that is going to include affordability checks and your usual eligibility checks. So it might be that, yes, staying with your current lender is the right thing for you. But here at DM Mortgages, we would compare both options, and if staying with your current lender is the right option for you, we would tell you that, and we would help you to arrange that and secure that new deal at no cost. So yeah, it's really, really important that before you secure any deals with your existing lender, you check that against the rest of the market, because you could be missing out on potential huge savings. Now, you might be thinking, well, if I secure a deal 6 months in advance, then what happens if rates reduce before that new product starts? Well, again, as part of this new charter, then lenders are allowing you to still switch if rates did reduce and there was a better deal on the table closer to when that product commences, that you can switch to a better deal. And they'll allow you to do that usually, again, it depends on the lender, right up until the new product starts, or sometimes they might say a minimum of 2 weeks before the product starts. So it does just depend on the lender, but getting nice and early, because again, if interest rates continue to increase, it's ideal that you have secured a new interest rate now. Now, the government as well are also providing a lot more support by way of, for those on universal credit, for those that might be in receipt of support for mortgage interest payments, and they're allowing help with interest payments to be received now after 3 months. So that's much quicker than it was previously. So that's also something that's worth noting. Now, worst case scenario, because the reality is when you've got a mortgage, if you don't keep up with the repayments, then the lender does have the right to start repossession proceedings. A very bleak thought, but ultimately that is one of the risks that you take on and accept when you take on a mortgage. So again, as part of this new charter, the borrower or a borrower that might be unable to meet their payments, lenders have agreed that without consent from that borrower, they will not start those proceedings for a minimum of a year after they have missed their first mortgage payment. So worst case scenario, you know, that is a route that some borrowers may be facing, but again, it gives you at least a year to figure things out. So yeah, it's perhaps not the most positive of the changes that I've mentioned, but again, it is some help and support towards borrowers that are struggling to the extent where they can't actually meet the payments. So in summary, what I would also say, guys, in light of these new changes, make sure, I'm just going to reiterate what I said at the beginning, if you are struggling to keep up with your repayments, then, and again, it's also worth mentioning that some of those options are only available to borrowers that have not missed any payments. You have to be up to date with your payments to take advantage of some of the options that I've mentioned throughout. But ultimately, if you are concerned about interest rate rises, but you're still up to date with the payments, then make sure that you check in with us. If you're getting to the point where you think that you can't even meet those payments, then again, check in with us and also your lender, because having a conversation with your lender isn't going to affect your credit score. But of course, depending on what resolution you come to, then that may affect your credit score. But again, the beauty of some of the points I've mentioned is that there's flexibility without affordability checks and without affecting your credit rating as well. So I hope that that video has been useful to you guys. If you want any more information about the new mortgage charter, then of course, please do get in touch with us. I'll put contact details on screen and in the description below, and stay tuned to this channel because I appreciate a lot's been changing over the last few weeks, so I will do my best to get some information and updates to you in a timely manner, or as timely as I can make them. Make sure that you subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell so that you don't miss any future videos, and I'll look forward to catching up with you in the next one.